Okay, we're going to look at this surface area example. Surface area, SA, equals this formula, and you can see that whenever, of a cone, this is the surface area formula. Surface area means how much area is on the outside portion of this figure. So adding up all the area around that cone. All right, so you need to know the radius. In my example, I have a 16 and the height is 9. Then I'm going to input that information into this formula. That's really all you need, is to know this radius, or whatever your radius is, goes in for R, and this height goes in for H, because everything else is either those values or the pi symbol, which is on your calculator. Now you can see this mess I've got here. On my calculator, I can type it in straight up the way it's written using the pi button, which is usually a second feature somewhere on your calculator. Then times. Some of you need a parenthesis, some don't. That's kind of questionable depending on your calculator. Plus, then pull up my pi button, then times 16 or parenthesis 16, again depending, times, and then I think this is where you have the most questions, because some calculators you can pull up the square root symbol and then type in what's under it. Notice it brings up a parenthesis, so I can type in 16 squared plus 9 squared, and then close that off, hit enter, and it lets me just type it in sort of as it's written. Other calculators make you do this calculation first and then hit the square root button. So if you're having trouble with this one, that might be what's going on. In my example, I also want to show you about rounding. We're supposed to round this to the hundredths place. That's this second 9 here. The number after it is also a 9, so it's going to round that up to a 10, which then carries that over, rounds that up to a 10, which then carries that over and rounds it up to a 7. So it looks like we rounded to the ones place, but actually it was just because these carrying over 9s. So it carried over to round up to 1727.00 to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so let me mention how you might do this. If your calculator did not allow that exact button pushing order, how you can do this by order of operation. So if you do it by order of operation, we might do what's in this kind of considered a parenthesis first. Do this radical first. So I would type in my calculator 16 squared plus 9 squared equals. Then, like I said, a lot of calculators, after you get that 337, then you have to hit square root equals. So yours may be sort of backwards like that. So if so, then I'm going to have to force mine to do it that way. You'll hit the square root button and get 18.35755,975. Don't round that off. As a matter of fact, try not to even delete it from your calculator, because you might get a little round off error if you leave out any digits. Then I would go ahead and times that by 16, then times that by pi equals, get all of this little calculation done, which is 922.7515976. Sorry about that. Then I need to do this calculation and then add the two answers. So then I'll go over here and do plus that pi times 16 squared, and then it gives you exactly the same answer as we had before. So if your calculator still didn't cooperate with that, get online with me and we can Zoom and look at your particular calculator. All right, hope that helps.